3 editors and 3 assistant editors, each with their own Mac. I think it was about 83 terabytes of footage.
Let's go.
This American fiction psychological thriller television series follows employees at the biotechnology corporation Lumen Industries that have undergone a medical procedure that ensures they retain no memories of the outside world while at work and have no recollection of their job once they leave.
Editing is the final draft of the script because it's, there's a lot of things that read great on the page that once you see it on screen, it just feels different. In the structuring of the episode and moving scenes around.
Season 1 showed us the concept of work-life balance. What the severance procedure entails is consent from the person in the outer world, the outie, to undergo the surgery in which a chip is placed in the brain that reacts to some kind of barrier between the ground and basement floors of Lumen. The employee who works in the basement becomes the innie.
So basically this is like our Zolly move that we use to show the transition from innie to outie or outie to innie. If it's outie to innie, the camera's zooming out on Adam while it's pushing in to end up with a wider lens image of Adam.
Today we want to explore what it was like piecing this story together and all the camera tricks they used.
And 3, 2, 1.
But before we get into more of these moments, today's trivia question: what year did the very first episode of Severance come out? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around till the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
Now right there is about where the transition happens to the next piece of the shot. So now we're on this sort of pogo stick gimbal that we had a great camera operator who was strong and tall and was running, chasing you down the hallway.
Why did you choose that rather than Steadicam?
It's just too hard to run this fast with a Steadicam.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, the idea of the plotline to the series came as Erickson was in a time of depression while working on his master's in television writing and wished he could just skip past or speed up his 8-hour workday to get it over with.
So in episode 5, the innies are in many ways at their lowest point that we've seen the team on the entire show. They've lost one of the most important members of their team, and then at the same time they've regained one, but it's under very complicated circumstances.
He passed the idea to Ben Stiller, who of course loved the idea and started working on it from there.
As Dylan is going through this guilt, Irving is still trying to help him. So Irving is very much a presence for the innie section of this episode, even though he's not there, except in melon form. As soon as they wheeled that head in, I was like, okay, I think this season's gonna work.
Production designer Jeremy Hindle blended corporate looks from the 1960s, 70s, and 80s for the show's distinctive look. Erickson said the mix of cars and technologies from different eras was meant to give a slight sense of disorientation and make Lumen feel unmoored from time and space.
So if you have a shot of a kid and then you see a dead dog, you think, oh, the kid's sad. But then if you see that same shot of the kid, then you cut to a shot of a present, then it feels like the kid's happy, even though it's the same shot. The edit process is about finding these associations, infusing ideas from one scene into the next.
For a production like this, you would think that this was all pieced together using a high-powered system. Well, technically it was, but not on the power you're thinking. Season 2 was somewhat edited using only a Mac Mini.
Everything has this brutalist feel to it. Let's embrace it, and it's all about the scale and the domination of these places, but you still feel really welcome. It's really like a strange dichotomy of your spirit in being in those places. They're just attractive to us. It's interesting.
It's a familiar setup for Richmond, who says the vast majority of all the editing work he's ever done is on a Mac. I like the interface on Mac a lot better than a PC, he says. I find the way the operating system is laid out to be much more comfortable. I'm able to move between different applications very quickly on Mac.
There's a lot of choices when cutting the marching band, so it actually took quite a while to just organize all the footage in a way that I could find things easier, and my assistant Tom put all of the cameras into one multicam clip. So I can toggle through and just sort of see on my Mac, these are all the choices.
As I share my excitement for this series, I want to mention we are currently doing a giveaway. Share what you were most excited for with this project, and the best comment will win a $25 Fandango gift card where you can purchase a full movie with added bonus features. Comment down below and one winner will be chosen.
How many different camera angles did we have, like on the synced up
It's
timeline? Because we were
9 banks of 9, but it's not always all running at the same time. I can scroll through and say, okay, in this moment, I want to be focused on Helly and Mark.
An episode's score also happens simultaneously with the edit. Richmond speaks with Shapiro, the show's composer, regularly during editing, and if Shapiro sends music cues after the workday has ended, Richmond is often too excited to wait until the next day to hear them, so he listens immediately from his MacBook Pro or even his iPhone.
The aftermath of the Ortbo is Mark second-guessing who Helly actually is and who it is he's in love with, and whether or not he's still being tricked, and whether or not he's just a pawn in some game that the Egans are playing. Mark.
all of a sudden there's this new complication in their relationship regarding trust.
When it comes to the landscape of things, in episode 4, the crew elaborated on having to create some of the landscape from scratch as they weren't allowed to touch really anything in the forest.
Episode 204 was very challenging because it was all snow, and so creating the visual landscape for that episode was one of the more fun things that we got to do.
We all had so much fun filming that episode.
And another example of set design is the goat room. And yes, they actually used real goats.
We had actual goats running around, and we see the people who are taking care of them. We get a little bit of a sense of their culture and how sort of cagey and paranoid they are. And then, of course, we have the gift of Gwendolyn Christie, who's there as their leader, and I think really is the soul of that group in a very fun way.
But before we go, we wanted to mention what's in store for Season 3. Adam Scott brought forward his thoughts on the next season, saying it's exciting. All the different options on all the different ways, the directions the show can go, are all very exciting. Of the many twists and turns lurking within the corridors of Severance's Season 2 finale, no fan should be surprised when, waiting behind the episode's final bend, is Ben Stiller's name. He himself has mentioned that the tone of the freeze frame signals a different tone for Season 3. Of course, there isn't much we can go on just yet, as there still isn't a release date, but we can go back over the season and look for clues as far as what's to come.
I have to leave.
There's a lot of different angles that are either wider or cleaner. So this is the shot that I had originally in my assembly, I think, or earlier. But
let's keep the Mark S. love going. With a ballad of
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, the series premiered on February 18th, 2022, surprisingly already completing 2 seasons within 3 years' time. But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all these moments? Which one was your favorite, and what do you think is in store for Season 3?
The Season 2 finale is one of my favorite things we've ever done on the show. There are tons of really explosive elements, and that's where it gets really fun.
The finale is stuffed, like a marching band. Mark having a scene with himself, a fight in the hallway, a murder in an elevator, and then the final choice in the hallway. It was so much fun to shoot.
Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this.
The end is really like what happens next. We have no idea what awaits them as they start running deeper into the halls of Lumen.
That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
I know we always knew this scene was going to happen. There was discussion of ending it before we saw who he went with. As soon as we made the choice that he was going to keep going with her, to me, that was like really exciting, the idea of what that ending could be.